there, gang. I will give you a little salutation so anybody wanting to check this out live can get caught up. Those of you that listen to this as a recorded message, welcome. I'm on a road trip down to S12. For those of you that like to comment and get upset that we record while driving, I'd like to say I'm not paying attention to you. I'm paying attention to this. And having a conversation with you is no different than having a conversation with somebody next to me, checking my gauges, controls, mirrors, etc. So, title here, what do you have to see? What is it that you need to be seeing? What do I mean by that? Well, that can be a lot of things. In this context, let's talk about an idea called inattentional blindness. That's a big one, inattentional blindness. What does that mean? It means that you're blind to things you don't pay attention to. Not really any kind of an amazing, deep idea, but it's something I think we don't pay attention to. How does this apply in, say, a self-defense scenario? Well, we watch tape, right? Here on the Instagram, YouTube world, we are able to watch hours of footage caught on film of people being accosted by bots. And then we can be Monday morning quarterbacks. They should have done this. They should have done that. What is problematic about that is you or me watching footage. That is not from the eye of the person involved. That's from the eye of some camera, right? That's not from the eye of the person that was in the moment. Even then, body cam footage. Well, we saw what the officer saw. No, you saw what was from a camera angle, from a fisheye lens. That fisheye lens does not see like our eyes whatsoever. And then we start to make judgment calls. Our eyes can dart around in fractions of seconds. A lens fixed on somebody's vest or fixed up into a position in a building, completely different than what we see. That said, did you know that your focal field of view, center focal vision, where you do most of your seeing, is about as big as your thumbnail out in front of you? That's pretty heavy duty. So right now I'm driving down the road. There is a white vehicle probably 200 yards ahead of me. While my peripheral vision sees this semi-truck, it sees the cars in oncoming traffic. My peripheral vision sees my camera, it sees my mirror. I can't really take in any information there. I see movement. I can't tell you what kind of trees I'm driving past. I just see green moving by. So that means that we have a very small, finite field of vision where we can actually gather data that's meaningful. So if we don't give our attention to something and it's outside of that focal point, it's going to almost become blind to us. Does that make sense? In essence, inattentional blindness. This isn't my terminology. This is legitimate science. So we become blind through inattention, which means that you choose what you give attention to. There's some very cool studies in the sports realm where apparatus can be put onto the test subject, and they do this with professional athletes. They do this with not professional athletes. They do this with police officers that are very skilled and have much time on the job, and with people that are newbies. And one of the things that has been gathered data-wise is that people that are new or unskilled, their eyes are darting all over, darting, trying to look for something. What do I need to see? Whereas the skilled practitioner, the high-level athlete, their eyes are more fixed into a gaze. They see what they need to see, and that comes through experience. You don't know what you're looking for until you know what you're looking for, right? How do you get that experience? Well, through training. You get that experience through talking to people that can give you that information. You figure that out by going to the source, so to speak. So we have this deficit of attention, and I want to kind of bring this full circle to, say, a defensive or protective encounter where you may or may not need to deploy a weapon. You can't take in information all around you, so you are constantly having to parse out brain power, because we only have so much brain power. We like to say, oh, we only use this little percentage of our brain. What you really mean when somebody says that is, you're only aware of how much computing power is happening. Your brain is doing all kinds of other processes, keeping you standing, keeping your lungs pumping air, keeping your heart working, keeping your digestive system working, keeping your immune system working. That stuff is all taking brain power to work. So the part of the brain that's looking at danger, the part of the brain that's got the cognition, this frontal lobe that's allowing you to have rational thought, you choose what to look at. So here becomes the question: do you spend your energy, your time, your resources learning what to look at by watching videos online? Or do you attend training? Do you attend force-on-force type scenarios? Do you talk with people that know what they're talking about so that you can get those cues? And why am I bringing this up? Because there's a lot of people that think because you watched some videos or watched some footage, it's training. It's not. There is educational value there, but it's not training, because you're not looking at the same things that you would be as if it's your eyes. You are not training your brain to see movement, to see hand gestures, to see pre-fight indicators, to see cues in body language, micro expressions. That needs to be trained, and that's not something that you can just learn by watching footage after the fact. Does that make sense? So here's the challenge. You have only so much attention in a life or death situation. Even in this scenario right now, my life right now, this is a life or death situation. I'm driving highway speeds in a vehicle with a trailer, and I'm paying attention to the road. I'm seeing where other vehicles are, and we're getting it done. But if my attention focus, say, to reading comments on the screen or playing with my radio, it doesn't take long for this vehicle to become my death trap and maybe a mode of injury or death to somebody else. So we need to figure out where to focus our attention. Being behind the wheel is a great analogy for all of us, because most of us probably do it. Most of us can relate to that. So as you're walking around in places and spaces, what do you need to be paying attention to? You need to be paying attention to, how do I get in and out of these spaces? Where's my entrance? Where's my exits? Is there only one entrance and exit? Is there more than one entrance or exit? If something went down here, like a fire, like some type of violence, is everybody else in this building going to go to the same exit that I'm going to try to go to? If so, that might cause me a bad sitch. Maybe there's another exit that I can look at as a plan B. That might be a good option. The people that are in this space, do they all look like they belong here? And you can do all of this without being paranoid. So the thing that I think that folks have a hard time with is getting to the point where this type of observation is done subconsciously. How can you consciously be subconscious? Well, because you trained your subconscious to do something that you needed to do. Like I just turned my turn signal on. I know conscious brain said, Mickey, we're going to change lanes. I did not have to tell myself to work my signal. It happened on a lower level of consciousness. That's what we're talking about. You learn to pick up on these types of things in the world around you. We can attach names to that, like Cooper's Color Code of Awareness, or you could just attach this: responsibility. You are going to be responsible for yourself. Know that when you move about through life each and every day, you are ultimately responsible for yourself, but you're also responsible for others. Right now, I have a huge level of responsibility to the other motorists on the road. I also have a huge level of responsibility to all of the families of these people. Does that make sense? When you start to think like that, it makes you an integral part of society, an integral part of the world. It starts to make you take pause about your actions. That pause should help to change your attention. Do you get where I'm going with this in this full circle now? Because I understand that I am a integral part of society, I will not be so flippant with what I give my attention to. Look, you want to play on your phone, you want to look at Facebook or Instagram or YouTube, do it on your own time. Well, it is my own time, it's my life. I'm saying do it when you're home in the safety of your house. Well, hey man, if I want to ride the train and zone out on YouTube, do it. Yeah man, but that's not your time. You're an integral part of society. Your eyes, your senses may be the thing that diverts disaster. Your ability to see those things because you pay attention to those things could be the difference between other husbands and wives, other fathers and mothers getting home, because you're a responsible citizen. You're a responsible, integral part of this community that is our world. Does that make sense? Do you feel that when you start to think about it? It doesn't mean that you're responsible for everybody, but when you attach that idea, it gives you pause. It causes you to say to yourself, like, hey, self, let's kick it up a notch. And you can do that in a relaxed and calm manner. You only have so many resources with your brain to give to where you will overload it. Job one is to stay alive. Job one's to stay alive. If you're worried about whether or not you take the garbage out, if you're worried about if you are going to have enough money for retirement, if you're worried about those kinds of things while somebody's stomping your face in, would you say you're worried about the wrong thing? I'd say you're probably worried about the wrong thing, right? It's okay to think about those things at certain times, but like right now, what I'm doing, I need to have my thoughts and energy here, right? Talking with you guys, minding the road, working the controls. It's a choice. That's the big picture here. What we give attention to is our conscious choice. If you want to listen to the news and get a bad attitude, that's your choice. You want to listen to your friends at work that want to bitch about how much the job sucks, that's your choice. You want to go to the bar after work and listen to people complain about how they are cogs in the system, that's your choice. You want to get out of bed and have the same repeat Groundhog's Day effect every day, that's your choice. Now then, you want to focus on the fact that it's another new, beautiful day, that's your choice. You want to focus on the fact that you can do anything you want with this day, that's your choice. You want to decide to do something different today than what you did yesterday, like maybe jumpstart exercising, maybe starts to become innately and deeply attached to this idea of responsibility, because nobody can make you think about or see anything. You choose to think about and see what you want to choose to think about and see. You might say, yeah, man, but there's shitty stuff in the world. There is. And fixating on it doesn't change it. What what I'm driving at here is not to be Pollyannish, not to pretend like evil doesn't exist, not to pretend that disease doesn't exist, not to pretend like hard times don't exist, but in fact, understand they exist. Understand that there are obstacles. There are ravines that we must cross. There are muddy, slippery, dirty, thorn-ridden paths that we must traverse. And there are also predators on those paths that we must deal with. And sometimes people don't. Sometimes we're the predator and we don't even know it. Sometimes we're injecting things into the world that we don't realize that we have the power to do. Sometimes we are the one that is instilling negativity and nonsense and tearing down rather than building up. That's your responsibility to identify that in yourself. And guess what? If you don't want to, that's cool, man. Maybe me and you are not on the same page, and that's fine. That's okay. But that's my challenge to you. What are you going to look at? What are you going to pay attention to? Be it, are you looking at the hands of a person in front of you to see if there's a weapon in them? Because that's a good idea. You should be looking at hands. Hands are what hurt you. Words don't hurt you. Hands hurt you. Watch hands. Look at distance. Look at exits. Look at escape routes. Look at, are there other ways in and out of this place? Does he have friends? If I have to draw my gun and shoot, where are my rounds going to go? These are things that should become subconscious, where you don't have to think about them. Where if you have to deploy a tool, in this case a gun, the decision-making process, the cognitive process of doing that, which is tactics. That's what tactics are. It's you using cognition to apply skill to win. That's what a tactic is. That part is what you're thinking about in the automatic process of drawing, firing, knowing your rounds are not going to impact what they shouldn't be. That's going to happen at an automatic level. That stuff is your responsibility to input into you. Owning the gun doesn't do it. Watching YouTube videos doesn't do it. Wearing the right t-shirt that says some badass stuff on it, that doesn't do it. On that note, the most badass men I know, they don't act like badasses. They don't dress like badasses. They don't talk like badasses. Why? Because they are badasses. They don't need to prove it to anybody. You know what else? Most of those guys can take a joke. Most of those guys that are truly badass can laugh at themselves. They can have some fun. Most of them are not so serious, right? You choose what to give your attention to. You choose what to think about. You choose what to focus on. Physically speaking, in what could become a physical fight, what could be something that is your life in jeopardy, and you choose to do it every day as you move about places and spaces, as you traverse this arc of your life. What kind of influence do you want to be on other people? What kind of influence do you want to be on your kids? That's the kind of stuff that I think we should be thinking about. If you begin to think about that, it will change what you look at. It'll change what you focus on. It'll change how you inject yourself into the world. Are you going to be a responsible participant in the world that gives more than you take? Or are you the kind of person that wants to take more? That's on you, man. I can't tell you how to be. I'm just offering a suggestion. I will tell you this. As soon as you start thinking about some of these things in the way that I'm referring here, you'll find that people want to help you. You'll find that people want to come to your aid when you're in trouble. Not just physical trouble, but maybe you need a hand. You will find that the world maybe will start to become a little less friction filled, which to me is worth a lot. Yeah, man. I'm looking forward to this weekend with our friends at S12. This is a formative experience for everybody involved, not because of me, but because of the totality of the situation. When you put 10 or 15 people together that are motivated to do good things, I tell you what, good things happen. That makes me feel good to be part of that. I know it makes the other guys and gals feel good as well. And I am honored to be among such people. Hope you guys enjoy these videos. I hope that you have a fantastic day. If you haven't subscribed, please do. Share this stuff with your friends. Shoot us a message here. Leave us a comment. Let us know how we can do better. If there's something that you'd like us to talk about that we haven't talked about. If you've got a question, if there's something that we can share that maybe is weighing on you, pass it on. And hey, over at carrytrainer.com, we've got a whole list of all the places that we're going to be this year, next year. We look forward to seeing you. It means a lot to us when folks come out and train with us. And I'm always learning when I'm in class. It's amazing to me how much I learn every class that I'm in, be it as a student or as an instructor teacher. Life is good. Life is sweet. The sun is shining. My heart is filled, guys. Be well.